The head of the New York field office, James Dennehy, has retired under intense pressure.
Look, Jeffrey Epstein was a complete criminal. He is arguably one of the worst known pedophiles we've had in U.S. history. And so I think when the American people voted for Donald Trump, they also voted for the Department of Justice to be aggressive and aggressively do their job. And so what I will tell you is we have a briefing tomorrow. I'm hoping that that briefing can provide us with answers and a timeline on when we will see the release of those Epstein files.
Binders full of images and CDs and hard drives. She said were also tucked away in closets. We also found out that they actually were able to find a huge blue safe. Inside of that, they found cash, passports, loose jewelry, including more binders filled with CDs and more hard drives.
First house I go to has pinhole cameras. Jeffrey's showing me. He's really proud of them. Second house I go to has pinhole cameras. He says, Wexner gave me this house for $1. Wexner gave me this for $1. He keeps everything.
With Epstein, we know that he's had Mossad connections. That seems to be very apparent. CIA Mossad stuff. Again, CIA Mossad. I don't even know if there's a difference anymore. Just like so tired of the political back forth and pretending, oh, we're definitely going to be transparent. As soon as you know that there's any indication that Israel could be involved, we're not going to be transparent, my friends. Okay. So phase one was a nothing burger.
Hi, everyone. Bill Gates here. I just want to get ahead of this story coming out soon, right? Epstein Island, me, diddling little kids. Let's pump the brakes on that one. I mean, come on, folks. I've never even been to that island. People mix me up with that Stephen Hawking guy all the time.
Hey, I'm not Bill Gates.
Total mix-up. Yeah. That's it. Definitely mistaken identity.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. The head of the New York FBI field office, James Dennehy, forced to resign in Trump admin shakeup. This is an article from the New York Times. The top FBI agent in New York was ousted today, Monday, March 3rd, 2025, saying he wasn't given an explanation for the decision from Washington. This is a direct order from the Trump administration. James Dennehy, a U.S. Marine veteran who joined the Bureau after September 11th attacks, announced he was forced to resign in a letter to staffers at the New York FBI field office. This is this guy right here. Documents, social media users blamed assistant director and charged James Dennehy for alleged block on Thursday. The Department of Justice released phase one of these files. We saw phase one of these files a couple days ago with photos like these ones of social media influencers, predominantly conservative social media influencers, receiving the phase one binder of the Epstein files, which were mostly files that were accessible online. Pam Bondi stated that she had a bunch of these documents.
We all did. And the FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Cash is also, now that we have Cash here, it's a game changer, of course, and Cash is going to, Director Patel, is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Okay, I want to be clear because I think people got frustrated because they were expecting more. You were expecting more, and you didn't find out less than 24 hours before the release. You got a whistleblower that confirmed that there were way more documents that they were supposed to turn over, and then you found out just before that.
Well, sure. And you're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And we're going, where's the rest of the stuff? And that's what the FBI had turned over to us. And so a source said, whoa, all this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Cash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can, but go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein, because there are a lot of victims.
Well, you had identified in phase one over 254.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, is that the only thing that would be redacted? Will everything else be made public that you get in your possession?
Yeah, the FBI hasn't had, obviously, they haven't looked at the thousands of pages of documents that they've just received Friday.
Yeah.
But Cash has a team going through them, and it's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know. The Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. And why were they sitting in the Southern District of New York? I want a full report on that. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency, but I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day, it's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
You have been doggedly trying to get all the information, and now we learn, thanks to you, that you've been stonewalled by people in New York. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, Mark. So as you know, we released about 120 pages of documents, and I started asking for these documents right when I came into office.
Well, that's fantastic, but I assume the Southern District of New York is, or has been, holding on to this information for a reason. That is, they don't like the names on the list. And, of course, we know New York is a hotbed of the Democrat Party, and that includes in legal circles. Do you think that's part of the issue here, that they're trying to protect a lot of names and individuals?
You know, Mark, I have not reviewed the information yet. And as a lawyer, as a prosecutor, I want to review everything before I make a firm conclusion. But I think it's very interesting that they withheld that from us. And I will find out who withheld it, and they will not be working for us anymore.
In this article from the Daily Mail, Jesse Waters points the finger and he says, who's really to blame for the Epstein dud document dump? Jesse Waters said government officials have no one to protect but themselves after being duped by the release of the long-awaited files related to Mr. Epstein. The first wave of documents contained Epstein Little Black Book, which, again, were predominantly available previously for public viewing. Attorney General Pam Bondi exploded at the FBI for hiding thousands of documents in a letter to new FBI Director Kash Patel. Let's jump into this clip with Jesse Waters about this.
So who's in charge at the New York FBI field office? Who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General? James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office. And don't forget that James Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee-deep in this. Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself? I asked Bill Barr about that, why everything seemed to go wrong that night.
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences? I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. Cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate. And the guards who were supposed to check him every half hour didn't check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around.
Now, in my personal opinion, this individual and Comey have been hiding these documents not wanting to release them to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, and they've been sitting on boatloads and truckloads of evidence from New York, from Florida, from the Virgin Islands, all this stuff, and they're holding these freaking documents because there's evidence, presumably, allegedly, from politicians and celebrities and other powerful figures. And ultimately, I think there is a deeper involvement here, because there have been whispers, allegedly again, that Epstein was not only working as an FBI informant, but he was working for potentially a Middle Eastern territory. And here's the thing, guys, we don't just want the files, right? Because we've already seen majority of what's in those files, excluding the evidence. And I understand that they need to redact some of this stuff, but at the end of the day, we want to know who else was collaborating on this. Who else was collaborating on this? Epstein didn't work for himself. He was working as an informant for the FBI and a potential affiliate in the Middle East. Here's the thing about this. What's incredibly disappointing is that this individual says he was forced to resign, or whether he was fired or not. Well, when is the prosecution going to go after this individual for halting this evidence? Him leaving his post, it just shows that there was continuous corruption in the FBI. And I get that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel just got there, and they're getting on a ship where the crew doesn't really like them. So I understand this particular predicament. But Pam Bondi has said that there were 2,000 more Epstein documents.
Yeah, I was in the room when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI, were handing these out. And right off the bat, one of the first things they said was, we're going to be releasing this to the public. What you need to understand is that there really isn't a smoking gun in the new information that we have available, except for the fact that it has become evident that certain members of the FBI have been withholding information from the Attorney General's office.
What do you guys think about that? Drop it down in the comment section down below. Let me know. There is massive, this is apparent that there is massive corruption in this industry, in the FBI, and that people have been withholding information to protect particular people. But James Dennehy resigning doesn't resolve the issue, because this individual needs to be prosecuted for withholding these particular documents, for withholding boatloads, truckloads of Epstein evidence. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.